So Thug Nasty beats Dan Ige. Okay, it was a unanimous decision. It could have gone either way, because I saw Dan Ige really piecing him up on the feet. As much as I want to see Bryce succeed, bro, you got to work on your hands. I mean, that groundwork saved it, and you're lucky that that was the night the UFC was judging groundwork and making sure that ground and control time counted. Because you know how the judges flip flop on that. How it's like, oh, well, you got to be more active, or you got to stand on the feet and strike more, right? Because they don't like cheesers nowadays. But in this realm, excuse me, hiccups. Groundwork's super questionable. It's not as dominant as people think it is. Because people do want to see stand up striking fights. It is what it is, but Bryce withered the strike storm, and Bryce took it on, dude. Bryce took it on. That's uh that's good to see, and it was actually heartwarming to see him give 5,000 to Dan Ige. I mean, I always said that was the fight to make because I think like Bryce could win it, but Ige's got some stuff. But I was right about the outcome of that fight. It was better than I expected. It was a lot of good basic jujitsu work from Bryce, and his body triangles looked really nasty. I'm counting a lot of good stuff, even though like for real, I think that those hand works that he's going, the fisticuffs that he's playing, you got to work on your striking game because I'm gonna be real, man. You just kind of look a little stiff, and on UFC standard, you should have a little more time to work on that. Just in case, because I want to see this guy go far. I want to see him make a comeback, and I want to see be confident in his rematch against Ilya Taporia if that ever happens. Now, Ilya was a world class athlete. Obviously, his striking game really set Bryce up for that submission, but a lot of his problems could be avoided if he just works on his head movement and his striking and doesn't stand there a little stiff like he likes to because he's deadly on the ground, but I see that front kick too, and it just seems like his stance is a little wide, at least for my taste. Um, but he's got to work on that. But while he works on that, what do you think a good matchup in the future for Bryce would be, especially at 145? Um, I think Brian Ortega would be a good fight for him at that point, uh, or Calvin Cater even, or Giga Chikadzia. Those would be some pretty good options because Calvin and Giga are at that like level of like welcome back to the top 8, 7, 6 onward. Then you got Brian, who's like 2 or 3 or something like that, right? He hasn't fought in a while because his shoulder gave out. But that'd be a good fight for him to come back to. And I think they'd be a really good, interesting stylistic matchup because both of their jiu-jitsu styles are world class. You got Brian's really slick submission skills, and then you've got Thug Nasty and his just grind him out attitude, like because I see his jujitsu, and there's that country boy in that jujitsu where he's taking something that's the gentle art and he's getting rough with it. That would be a really good, interesting ground fight. But I also see that Brian Ortega and both Bryce Mitchell need some handwork. Now Ortega's just kind of outclasses him by a little bit because he did knock down Volkanovski. But honestly, I think that would be a really good matchup next time just because Bryce needs to focus strictly on fighting a little bit more. I know he's working all day in the yard, growing food, growing trees, all that stuff. And you know what? Good for Bryce Mitchell. If Bryce ever wants to bring me out to do some farming, if you ever want to take a small time channel out, please do, man, because I would love to see what it is you do for your farming, how you get so tough, how you get that grittiness, because wrangling cows and chopping down trees with chainsaws gives you a strength that lifting weights really doesn't. I used to work in blue collar work a lot, and let me tell you, that stuff added more strength to my forearms than actually, doing any form of grappling or going to a jujitsu lesson. But that's enough of me brown nosing the camo shorts. I just wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, congratulations, Bryce, on your win. And I really actually would like to see, now that I think about it, either you against Giga or Calvin if you got better striking game. But I think Ortega might be a better choice for you. That's all my thoughts. But thank you guys very much for tuning in for this post fight show. I'll see you on the next one.